Hello Bakin friends, this is the first video of a series of videos that explains how my farming system works. This video will be all about the time system that you need to set up my farming system in the end. And you can also make a drinking game out of this video and count, like take a shot every time I say system, because I will say system quite a lot. Okay, you see the time system working right now here in this corner. I will show you how to set up UI for it after explaining the actual event of time. So let's just jump into the actual event. So let me just open up my common event for the time. Now, wait a second for me setting up OBS. Okay, now it's set up. Okay, this is the first page of my time event. Basically, what I do is if my time variable is at 5, a switch will be turned on, and my variable time gets added, multiplied. How do I even say this? Like every cycle, delta time will be added to my time variable. Delta time I will show you quick. I have a small little event. It's really just a variable called delta time, and the elapsed time from previous frame is assigned to it. So it's just to iron out the frame rate difference for everyone. So if you have 20 frames per second, time would otherwise go slower than time would for someone with 60 frames per second. So you just use delta time. You don't need to understand it too much. Just make something like this that runs in parallel, and you should be good to go. So let me open up the actual one. So back to this event. So this will be added until it's 5. It's 5 seconds. So if you put 10 in here, it will be 10 seconds basically. Just copy this and you have a good way to make the basic counting of time. So every time this is actually 5, a switch gets turned on, and like the actual time passing happens in this event. So minutes gets increased by 10, and this can trigger quite a lot of stuff. Like if minutes are 60, for example, minutes need to be 0 again, hour needs to be increased by 1, and I also have this variable. It just keeps counting hours into infinity, so it won't get reduced to 0 again once we hit this point. It's just for events that, like for example, need a certain amount of hours to pass, and it's hard to count the hours if they get reduced to 0 again. So I have a secondary hour variable. I think it's you understand what I mean. So it's just checking for different trigger events that you have in time, like if an hour is passed, if a day is passed, and just increases the values accordingly. I have the same secondary variable for days. For hours and days I have them. I don't have them for minutes because it's not important for me, but you can add them also. And yeah, it's basically the same for days. You can change this value to whatever you need. If your month is shorter than mine, just put 20 in here or something. And yeah, day will be 1 again. My months are seasons, so yeah, that's that. And if seasons is greater than 4, it will be 1 again, and 1 will be added to the year variable. And after this cycle, it's important to turn off this thing again, because you just want it to play once. Then go back to this page, so the delta time calculation thing can happen again. Then turn this one again on, and so on and so on. You need another event to set up your initial time values, but that's quite simple. If you start the game and you want it to be, for example, 8 o'clock, you just need to adjust the variables accordingly. Good. Now I will show you the UI side of things. Let's open it up. So this is my UI event. It's pretty small, but it works. I like to put on certain parallel events just a little weight counter, so it does not suck up as much performance. So here's the background image for my UI, and also here are switches. I have a switch to turn UI on and off. You don't need this, but you can make something similar. And also this means basically time flow, whatever. If time is running, this switch is on, and also the UI will be on. You don't need those if you're wondering. So here's the background image. Then we have this is basically, it displays the day. This is just, it says what it is, and this part is the variable part. This is how you set up variables, but you can also check out this input support things. You can display various things. It's not too hard. Good. Make sure to have, wait a minute. Yes, so you want this needs to be a lower number than this to be displayed on top of it. So the higher the number, the higher the priority, basically. So I have wacky numbers. You can put basically 1 on this one and 2 on this one, and it will be the same, but make sure it's not the same, because there is only one number 1 picture, and it would just delete the different number 1 picture. So you want unique numbers for your pictures. Good. So then this thing here is basically just to make the time a little bit prettier. So it checks if the minute content is less than 10. For my system, it's just when it's like 8 o'clock, when minutes is actually 0, then this gets triggered. And then it checks if hours is also lower than 10. And if it is, it just puts a 0 in front of the variables that display the time. So you have, it just looks prettier. It looks like a clock with this, or else you would just have a single 0 for minutes, and for hours like not a 0 in front of it, which looks a little stupid in my opinion. And if content of hours isn't less than 10, then this just happens for minutes. Same thing if minutes are not less than 10. If you have like 8:15 for example, then it checks if hours is smaller than 10, and it's basically doing the same. Here there are no zeros added because both values are over 10. It works, you saw it in the intro. It looks quite good, I think. And yeah, this is basically the time system that you can use for a lot of different kind of games. But it's basically the introduction to my farming system, since this is the most basic thing for it. Good, then stay tuned for the next parts. Bye.